Greetings everyone and welcome to a brand new episode of All Things Lambda, the Half-Life community show that usually has some really cool Half-Life community news to share with you. I didn't have a very cool intro this week, I'm sorry, my head's just empty, I guess. We found some really nice topics to talk about this week, so let's get started right away.
LambdaGeneration.
Did you know that people are making mods for Entropy 0? Yes, that's correct. People are making mods for a mod, and that's all possible because of Entropy 0's SDK tools being made public a couple of years ago. One of the mods now in development for Entropy 0 is called Entropy 0 Uprising. In Entropy 0 Uprising, you play as a civil protection unit who's trapped in the middle of the rebel uprising in Half-Life 2 with the simple objective to survive. It actually takes place from the start of the Uprising to the Citadel reactor explosion at the end of Half-Life 2. Since the mod has been in development for over a year now, the developers Employee 8 and PhillyPad decided to make a 1-year anniversary media update over on ModDB, discussing what kind of progress they've been making. They have been doing things like art passing maps, which apparently they got help for from Raising the Bar Redux's own Kralig. They posted some videos here showing comparisons of how the maps used to look and after Kralig fancied them up. There are pretty noticeable differences here. We also get to see a video of the companion that you're going to have in the mod called Beck, which stands for Broken Eye Cop. In this video we can see him fight alongside the player for a bit while looking like a badass in the dark. Lastly, they show off a bunch of images taken from within the game. These are from the chapters The Uprising, Reinforcements, and Hard Work. I think they look pretty decent. I'm quite a sucker myself for this kind of lighting. When this mod will release is still unknown though, but I'm sure they'll tell us when they get to a point where they can announce it. If you want to check out this media update for yourself, then click the link in the description below. Twitter is full of interesting accounts, and the Half-Life community sure has its fair share of them. You of course have the ones ran by actual humans, we presume, but there are also ones that are run by bots. Like the one I'm going to talk about right now called BSP Overviews. What BSP Overviews does is rather simple. It takes maps that have been made in the GoldSrc engine and puts them in an isometric perspective overview so you can see every nook and cranny of the map in question. Well, most nooks and crannies. Games it has been posting about are Half-Life, of course, Counter-Strike, Day of Defeat, and other Valve-owned games. But people who come across this Twitter profile can also suggest maps by sending the bot a DM. I'm pretty sure you can probably get it to do well-known mods as well, unless there is a technical reason that I don't know of that makes it impossible. So if you're interested in this concept and if you'd like to follow Twitter bots, then go check out this new bot created by Rodrigo Diaz. A link to the Twitter profile can of course be found in the description below. Oh, and send in a request to potentially get your favorite GoldSrc map featured. On the topic of more technical stuff, remember when we covered that procedural GoldSrc level generator we talked about over a year ago called Badger? Well, development of the software is actually still ongoing, and they recently posted an update. On Twitter, its lead developer Hai has a thread detailing the updates that Badger has been receiving. The latest update to the procedural level generator added the ability to generate levels using SVGs and other vector graphic files that can be edited in programs like Inkscape and Adobe Illustrator, which to me seems quite impressive. Somewhere along the road, they also added support for a bunch of Half-Life related models. Even ladders and chargers can now be output by Badger. This is quite an impressive piece of tech, and I can't even begin to try to explain how this all works. This kind of stuff gets really technical. If you're interested in this project though, then be sure to not just check out the Twitter page, but also the official website for the project. You can download the project from there and tinker around with it to your heart's content. Links to both Hai's Twitter and their website can be found down below. After a small absence on YouTube, the Vogue podcast is back with 2 new episodes of their show where they talk to voice actors in the gaming industry. They have already talked to a bunch of voice actors related to Valve games before, like Ellen McLean, Gary Swartz, and even Harry S. Robbins, the voice of Dr. Kleiner. The two new episodes that they have posted are with John St. John, the voice of Duke Nukem and Dr. Rosenberg, and with Ellen McLean again, but this time joined by her husband John Patrick Lowry, who did the voice of the male citizens in City 17 and the sniper in Team Fortress 2. If you'd ask me, I think I would be interested to listen to both of these episodes. I'm very interested in voice acting myself, so hearing these people talk in their podcast is always a joy to me. And if you're interested in that kind of stuff yourself too, then I highly recommend you to give the Vogue podcast a listen for yourself. A link to their most recent 2 episodes are in the description below. And we're ending this episode again with a Source Filmmaker short film. This is something we do quite often actually. This time we're featuring Half-Life Combined by Thailer Studios, a story about how a regular citizen becomes a Combine soldier. As we all know, citizens can become civil protection units and basically join the Combine to better their lives in this new regime. However, let's just say that there are opportunities to grow within the Combine and get promoted, but these promotions aren't quite without, pain and loss. Let's just keep it on that, pain and loss. This Source Filmmaker short clocks in at around 15 minutes and is quite an interesting watch if you'd ask me. It's pretty well directed and its approach of show don't tell really makes this one stand out a bit more over the rest. It's pretty well directed and its approach of show don't tell really makes this one stand out a bit more over the rest. I do wish the audio editing was a bit better though, it's a bit rough in some places. Anyway, if you have some time and if you want to watch something story based, then I invite you to go and watch Half-Life Combined on Thailer Studios' YouTube channel. It's linked down in the description below. You know what else I invite you to? Our social media pages. I invite you to follow them because of course. Why wouldn't you follow our social media? Our Twitter and our Facebook are down there in the description, as well as our Discord server, which you should definitely join. My own stuff is linked down there as well, which might also be interesting to look at. I got a Twitter and a YouTube channel, so go check those out as well. And with that all being said, I'm going to end episode 137 of All Things Lambda. Don't be sad though, because we'll be back, of course, next week with another episode. In the meantime though, don't forget to subscribe and to ring that bell icon so you'll never miss another episode. Salutations, and take care.